And we're live.
All right. Good morning, and welcome to the Pete Braley Show. I'm Pete Braley. This is my son, Matt Braley.
That's me.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
And studio dog Charlie is at my feet, chewing up his blanket.
Back where he belongs.
Yep.
Yes.
We are back from our stay in Virginia. We had a great time with Sarah, Doug, and Liam. And Charlie had a good time with his cousins, Roscoe, Luke, and Yoda.
Yep.
My son, Doug, has a huge backyard. And Charlie was just whipping around that backyard, chasing Roscoe.
He was loving it.
Yeah. So, yes, we are back, and thank you so much for tuning in last week while we were down there with the chaos.
It was.
Today,
it is kind of strange being here in the quiet.
Yes.
Yes.
Today is a normal day. Just grab a cup of coffee, sit down, get the show ready.
I don't have to set the studio up the morning of.
That's right. That's right. And you made the mistake. Well, not really a mistake, but you made the mistake of sleeping at your brother's house, which is only, I think, 5 or 10 minutes away from Sarah's.
Yeah, it's like an 8-minute drive.
But still, I could roll out of bed at 7. You had to get up at what?
The beginning of the week I was getting up at 6:15, and then it progressively got a little bit later every single day.
So, hey, where's your desk? We talked about how you were going to have a desk.
So the desk is built. The desk is stained, but we're polyurethaning it. And that takes a couple days to dry. It is very nice. Yeah. So the goal is Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
Is the goal to have that ready.
Well, it's a brand new studio desk. You're not going to hear Liam running around this morning, but you might hear Charlie, who currently wants to get out of the studio and run amok in the living room.
There he goes. He's getting loud.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, he's had a week off, so he doesn't remember that he needs to chill for an hour.
Yeah. We had a nice chat from Gail already, who said, assuming your trip went well. Well, we're here, so we accomplished that.
I mean, we achieved the goal of the trip, but I don't know if I would call it a success completely.
12 and a half hours because of traffic everywhere. Normally we can make that ride in 10 and a half. It's 12 hours if you have a busy day, but 12 and a half hours Saturday. We hit traffic in Delaware, probably going to the beaches, on the Delmarva Peninsula.
Yeah, I saw a lot of beach chairs and coolers.
Yeah, and then we hit traffic in upper New Jersey near New York, and then Connecticut is always a bleep show. So.
Oh, yeah. Especially on the way home. We leave a little bit earlier on the way down to avoid some traffic, but we leave a little bit later on the way home just to have a little bit more time down there. But I feel like we always hit traffic in Connecticut. Yeah.
I wonder if you know anyone who lives in Connecticut, maybe you could shoot them a text for me. And do they have to live with stupid traffic all the time, or is it just that we're on 95 and
we're
they
also
avoid
traveling
95?
On Saturdays, so that can't help. It was the Saturday before Father's Day, so I don't know if that was a thing. But
that could have been shopping.
But there was a lot of people out on the road.
By the way, I heard from all 4 of them yesterday. It was so nice, and they bought me, what do you call it, a massage gun?
Yes,
it looks like a gun, but it can massage your muscles and joints and.
Well, because if you guys remember on the show, you mentioned that I think in the first week, and that's when Val had said buy him a massage chair, but Trish definitely did not want that. But yeah, so we got him the massage gun.
That'd be too big for our living room, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So we did have a good time. Can you believe that Priscilla, my wife, his mom, makes that entire drive with no music?
It blows my mind every single time. And about every 30 minutes I say to her, because, I mean, I have headphones. I can listen to music if I want to. Mm-hmm. But so I'll take off my headphones. I'm like, Ma, you don't want anything? You don't want music? You don't want a podcast? You don't want anything? She's like, no, I'm fine.
She's fine.
She's literally driving in silence. And I think there's something wrong with her, to be honest. Does anybody drive for long distances without music?
I think in her case, maybe that her days are so chaotic.
Yeah.
That, with radios going off and sirens, that maybe she welcomes the silence. I would listen to music myself.
I know one time she said, like, it gives her a time to think. And to me, that's way too much thinking. I know. I'm afraid of what's in my head.
Can you imagine being alone with the thoughts in your head?
Absolutely. I would never do that. Why do you think I always distract myself with music?
By the way, Matt had a very interesting conversation at a rest stop in Maryland. What did the guy ask you?
Well, so, I mean, it caught me off guard because I think I was sleeping before that rest stop. So when we got out, I was still half asleep. Yep. But I was just waiting outside the car because Mom was walking Charlie. And, Charlie's getting tangled up in my cords.
Let's not pull Liam.
Yeah, right.
Nope.
But this guy walked up to me and he's eating something. I don't know what is happening.
What could he get off your cords that he's eating?
I don't think it's anything from my stuff.
Okay.
So, but anyways, this guy at the rest stop came up to me and he said, "What's it like living in Massachusetts?"
Because he had his Red Sox hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it caught me off guard.
How
I
do
don't
you
know.
answer that question?
I've never
What's
really
it
been
like
faced with the question of what's it like to live in Massachusetts.
Especially because you've always lived here.
Yeah, so it's tough to answer. I was like, my immediate response was, well, it's cooler than here, but it's still pretty hot right now.
There you go.
Which was a really terrible answer. What advice does that give him? You know. But then he was like, what do you have up there? You know, you got amusement parks, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, we got like. Well, no, I don't even.
There's a Six Flags.
Yeah, like a Six Flags, but I'm not going to say Six Flags. So I was like, no amusement parks, but Boston's a really fun day, you know, to go sightseeing in Boston. And he was like, Boston, that's like your main city. And I'm like, I feel like everybody's got to know that Boston's the main city.
Yeah.
We don't really have another city that's close to Boston.
He is one of those guys that you meet at a party and you instantly try to figure out how to get away from him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
He's just got a line for everything. He knows he knows a little bit about everything.
He was really nice, though, but he was like, I've never been up there. And so I felt bad because I was giving him no good answers. I was not helping this man out at all. But he asked me what it was like to live. So I turned the question to you. For those of you that live in Massachusetts, how do you answer that question? Like, what would you tell somebody about Massachusetts?
What's it like to live in Massachusetts?
I was joking around with Trish. I was like, I should have said, you know, when he's like, "What's it like living in Massachusetts? What's it like in Massachusetts?" I should have just been like, "Democratic." I don't know. I mean, what do you say? I really don't know how to answer that question. But
we might get some chats on that, but
yeah.
And by the way, speaking of chats and Massachusetts, I thought it might be a good idea to do a roll call.
Yeah.
And that is simply in the chat, let us know where you're listening from.
Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
I know Abby lives in Vermont.
Yeah.
And Gail lives in Maryland. So send us a chat. Let us know
Where's
you're
everybody
listening.
at?
Yeah.
And just real quick, Abby said, "Look at that desk." Yes, this is not the desk. Hopefully Wednesday, possibly Thursday, but we will have. The desk is looking really nice. I do have to say.
It does look nice because when you first said, I asked Doug to make me a deck.
A desk.
A desk. Thank you. You know, not to say anything about Doug's abilities, but you know, he's built decks and he's built. He's redone a kitchen. He's redone a bathroom. I just don't think of him as because furniture making is a whole different.
One thing I know about Doug because he's helped me build stands. Please don't knock down the light, Charlie. We need to get to the point in the show when he sleeps. We always reach that point. We just haven't reached that point yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've asked him to build some stands for some speakers that I have for my desk. And he always, as long as you give him what you want. So I always send him a design. I sketch it out.
Okay.
And I give it to him like, how do we make this happen? And we always make it happen. So
cool.
Shout out to Doug, and he also wants to shout out his handyman company that he started down there, Brothers of All Trades.
Yep.
So if you're in Virginia Beach, in the Virginia Beach area, and you need something built, let him know because he's got you.
Did he give you a hat?
He didn't. I'll be getting it.
He still hasn't given me a
hat.
Yeah,
I think he's putting in an order soon, so we'll be repping some Brothers of All Trades hats. I like to call him Boat, but he doesn't like that. But,
he probably won't give me any merch until we have merch, right?
Yeah, that's true. We got to trade. We do have some chats.
Sure.
Abby did say, "Oh dang, is that a new calendar?" It is. That is the new set piece that we picked up in
Hats
Virginia.
off to you, Abby, for seeing it.
Yeah. I think I mentioned it in the last show that we had a new piece, and that's it. That's it right there. Now I just have to remember to change the date every day.
That's right. Try to catch us on a day when we don't change it.
If I don't, let me know. We can do it right on the show.
And you'll win $5.
Okay.
Out of his pocket.
I don't know if I agree to that. There we go. Okay. I agree with that. Gail said Connecticut is never good driving. Never.
No.
Yeah, no. I don't think we've had a good experience once. Miss Mary Jane said I could never do that. I agree with Matt. Yeah, no.
Driving
with no
without
music. I don't.
Yeah.
Like for a little bit. Like some days, I don't know, you have a long day at work and you got a 5-minute drive. Maybe you just want to decompress in the silence.
Roll the
I
window
totally
down.
get that. Yeah. But especially if you work in like retail where music is playing all the time and it's terrible music, maybe you do want some silence. But no, I don't know how you can drive for that long in silence. I don't think she played music once. I really don't.
No.
The entire drive.
On the drive down,
she played music.
She played music, and she listened to like 4 of our podcasts.
Yes. But on the way up, I don't think she listened to anything.
No.
It was silence the entire time. And so I kept checking in. I was like, hey, you doing okay? She was like, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm like, are you sure? I think there's a deeper meaning here.
Charlie
But
did.
no.
Charlie did well. He did great on the way down,
Yes.
which I think we told you about. And on the way up, he got a little fidgety. And
Towards the end.
yeah, we took the. It's not called the Tappan Zee Bridge anymore. It's the Governor Cuomo Bridge. We took the Governor Cuomo Bridge, and right around there, he was getting a little antsy. He would come up to the front seat, and he was in his puppy biting stage. He only wanted
Yeah.
my fingers.
Yeah.
And
Well, at one point I was trying to sleep, and he was starting to get into the biting stage.
Well,
with
that's
me.
because
I said, "Hey, Dad," and I gave him.
well, that's
I gave
because
him
I threw him in the back with you.
Yeah, we kept passing him back and forth because
Pass
we didn't
the
want to
Charlie.
we didn't want to get bit.
The weirdest thing was, and even here at home, when we take this dog out to do his business, if anything distracts him, he's not going to go.
Yeah.
You know, if a neighborhood dog barks, kid walks by, bicycle, anything, he stops and he checks it out and forgets he has to pee. So where do we go? New Jersey.
Yeah.
I remember New Jersey especially. In New Jersey, he just wouldn't go because we were in a pet area, so there were other dogs there. And I don't know if it was anxiety, can't go when someone's watching. I don't know.
He's a tough guy, though. He's always trying to pick a fight with these guys.
But yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But when we finally got home, and Priscilla took him out of the car, she said he peed for like an hour.
Yeah. It's fun. She was just standing there, and I started unloading the truck. I'm like, "Yeah, feel free to help, Trish."
Are
And
you
she's like,
coming?
"Well, he's not finished."
All right, so let's see what's going on here. Over the weekend, I got a text that said New Bedford fireworks will be held on Saturday evening, July 3rd, instead of July 4th, according to Mayor Mitchell. So good news that they're having fireworks this year. And again, they'll be on Saturday, July 3rd, instead of Sunday, July 4th. Maybe people have to work on Monday. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's the observed holiday. Coming up on the show today, 45% plan to spend more this summer than the past 2 summers combined. Tired of being locked up? We want to get out. What was the best decade for music? I say it all depends. Depends on what? I'll get to that in a few minutes. Creative punishments your parents used on you. Is this kind of like the other day when Mrs. Guy had the grape?
That was Diane with the grape essay.
Diane, yes.
Yes.
So I don't know, but I found more creative punishments that parents use. We'll get to that. And we have a list of summer concerts here in New England. So let's get going on this Monday, June 21st. Today is Go Skateboarding Day. Founded in 2004 by the International Association of Skateboard Companies in California, this day has grown into a worldwide celebration of the sport.
Okay.
I could never do that. I could never skateboard.
Yeah, no, I don't
have the
coordination for
balance.
skateboarding.
Yeah.
I can scooter because you get to hold on to something.
Today is National Daylight Appreciation Day. By the way, welcome to summer. Summer came in just before midnight.
It's a terrible first day of summer, I do have to say. It's very cloudy,
very
little
foggy down
drizzly. Yeah.
I was telling Matt that my shoulders were kind of achy, and I looked 95% humidity this
That's
morning.
probably it.
It's probably not helping.
Yeah.
National Daylight Appreciation Day each year on June 21st recognizes the summer solstice, the longest day of daylight in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's also National Selfie Day. And an interesting story how this came up, because you've kind of asked me, how do these days come to be?
Yeah.
In 2014, a DJ named Rick McNeely founded National Selfie Day because I saw a video of Rick, and he said, I was wondering, what kind of holiday could I have? So I guess I'll have to look up who you write to nominate.
I was going to say,
today.
this sounds like my hero.
But, this DJ, I forget where he works, he invented National Selfie Day.
I do have to say, of all days, though, National Selfie Day, I feel like we could have done a little bit better. So I guess that's where I come in.
What do you mean, like on a Monday?
No, just a better day.
Oh, a better
National
day than that.
Selfie Day. I don't really think.
Oh, I just on my phone. I forgot to silence my phone.
Why, did it make a noise? I didn't hear it.
No, it just flashed and reminded me I hadn't done that.
Oh, I gotcha.
Speaking of that, did you hear what happened with Phil Mickelson?
No.
Either Friday or Saturday. He was playing at the U.S. Open, and I guess he was not having a good day.
It happens. That's every golf day for me.
When he was lining up to take a shot, somebody's cell phone went off.
Oh.
So he was like, "Excuse me, could we turn that off, please?" And then a second cell phone went off. And then a third cell phone went off. So Lefty got a little mad.
Yeah, I feel like after the third time, that's a little bit much. I don't know. It is funny how golf is, and this is just what golf is, but I mean, you have like every other major sport where people are going crazy all the time.
In golf, you have to be
golf,
quiet.
you have to be completely silent.
You have to be quiet, yes.
I also love how the announcers are also really silent. Yes. Phil Mickelson.
Well, they used to be close to the tee.
Yeah.
They would be up in a booth, yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrity birthdays, we have 2 today. One is Chris Pratt of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I love Chris Pratt.
He is 42. And Prince William is 39.
There we go.
I can see him becoming king. I just don't know if we're ever going to see King Charles.
I don't know.
Prince Charles become king.
I don't really follow the royal family
like
everyone else.
Well, the Queen.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm really, I love The Crown. I've watched documentaries about them. But, the Queen is the head honcho. And when she dies, her son becomes king.
Yeah.
And when he dies, then William, who is his firstborn, becomes king.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it's all about the oldest, right?
I just can't see. And poor Prince Charles, he's been waiting forever to be king. He's gone through all the classes and everything.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any chats, or you want me to get to the news?
Yeah, we got a couple here. Let's see.
All right.
Abby says, for responding to about Massachusetts, there's civilization, unlike up here. You guys are just camping up there.
She's in Vermont, yeah, and
Let's
that's
see.
a different way of life.
Andrea says, usually in a cushionette this week, Dennisport. Abby said, let's see. She did check the date because I couldn't believe it was the 21st already. I know, it's funny. I don't know. I feel like time is just, ever since the pandemic, even now that things are getting back to normal slightly, it's like time doesn't really exist.
Wow.
In my opinion.
Still, huh?
When it comes to days, like I don't know. Like the days feel like the proper length. I feel like I go through a day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It feels like March was yesterday.
You did tell me that since we started the show and you're getting up earlier, you seem to get more done, right?
Yeah, because my problem was I would sleep a little bit later, but then I didn't really know where to start. Right. There was like a million things I needed to do. I didn't really know where to start. But now it's like I start with this. I don't have a choice. I have to start with the show.
Okay.
So, and then after this, I just move on. And let's see what else we got here.
By the way, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Gail said, Bill and I would listen to his road tunes on the way to wherever, but no music on our way home. I think we would be reliving our vacation.
Oh, that's true.
And we talked.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's people in the car and you're talking, that's the thing. Like sometimes we would all be talking in the car and we didn't have music and that's whatever. But there was times when we were both sleeping or, he was sleeping and I had my headphones on. And it's at that point, how are you still sitting in silence? Mm-hmm. There's no talking going on. Gail also said music best late 60s, early 70s. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see if that rings true.
I think it might, but I told you that it depends on
it depends,
yeah. By the way, reach us in the chat this morning, and we'll do a roll call. Let us know where you're listening from.
Yeah.
Andrea said Acushnet, but this week Dennisport down the Cape, so that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, checking the news this morning. It is Monday, the 21st. Sad story out of Rentham this weekend. A 1-year-old boy is dead after he fell into a pool at a Rentham home. Police say they responded to a home on Hillside Drive shortly after 8 Saturday night for a reported drowning. The victim's name has not been released as of last night. Rentham police say there was a large family presence at the home Saturday night, and it appears just a momentary lapse in supervision led to the drowning. Let me grab a sip here. I went back to Virginia Beach, so I had a week of their pollen. Now I have to get used to our pollen again.
Great. It's just going to be back and forth.
Continuing in the news, a horse trailer caught fire on Route 24 in Brockton Sunday, but the horse inside was safely brought to safety. Smoke billowed from the pickup truck, and flames spread to the horse trailer that it was towing. Meanwhile, firefighters arrived. The horse had been taken out. When they arrived, the horse had been taken out of the trailer and was calmly standing on the side of the road. Probably going, carrots.
Yeah, I mean, thank God he didn't get scared.
5 people are safe after the boat they were in overturned near a lighthouse in Buzzards Bay. Both Mattapoisett Fire Rescue and Marion Fire and Emergency Medical Services say crews responded to the Cleveland East Ledge Light after receiving a report of an overturned vessel with 5 people in the water Saturday morning. Marion Fire and EMS said the 5 people, who were safely rescued, were brought into Mattapoisett Harbor to be evaluated by EMS. In its Facebook post, Marion Fire and EMS took the opportunity to remind all boaters to wear their life jackets at all times. A memorial service for a police dog killed during an investigation that also resulted in gunshot injuries to 2 officers is scheduled this week for Gillette Stadium. Braintree Chief Mark Dubois says the service for Kit, a Belgian Malinois, will begin at 11 o'clock Tuesday morning, and attendance will be limited to uniformed public safety personnel and invited guests. Kit was shot and killed June 4th while chasing a domestic violence suspect. Police say the dog diverted the attention of the armed suspect away from his handler, Officer William Cushing Jr., and 2 other officers. Well, the Red Sox lose a series to Kansas City, and it doesn't get any easier this week. We'll have sports coming up in just a few minutes. According to a new study, half of Americans say getting the coronavirus vaccine is inspiring them to go all out this summer. In fact, they're planning to spend an average of $1,700 just on vacations. And 45% anticipate spending more money this year than the past 2 summers combined. 48% think they've saved enough money over the course of the pandemic to spend guilt-free this summer. Respondents say they are aiming to dine out at least 4 times a week this summer. Over half the poll, 55%, want to revamp their wardrobe. Another 2 in 5 Americans can't wait to hit the town and visit their favorite restaurant or bar. 22% can't wait to go to a game, live sporting event. And 21% are itching to attend a concert.
Yes, concerts. I will say, the people that are eating out 4 times a week, they just don't know how to cook, right?
I guess.
You're like,
right?
I mean, at 4 times a week. At that point, you get. I mean, we ate out a lot last week, and I'm like, no
this
more
week,
eating out.
No
for
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 4 times a week, that's crazy. I'm excited for concerts. That's my thing.
Yeah. I've got a list of the local concerts coming up. The top things Americans put off last summer and are looking forward to getting to. Number 1 is visiting friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is going on vacation. Number 3 is going out to eat. Then it's weekend getaways, barbecues and cookouts, going to concerts and events, going to fairs and carnivals, and finally, beach days.
Yeah. I mean, beach days, I feel like, no, because some beaches are, like, super crowded. I was going to say, I feel like you could have gone to some beaches last year, but
not some of them.
Yeah, that's true. They're a lot more crowded. What are you guys looking forward to doing? For me, it's concerts.
Concerts. Yeah.
That's the thing I missed last year the most.
I'm looking forward to eating out, but not 4 times a week.
Yeah, no, not that much.
No,
definitely not.
But and getaways, that would be nice.
I could definitely see the spending more money thing. That just makes logical sense. I mean, you were at home last year, so you weren't really spending money, except on Amazon.
I was going to say, do you feel like you saved money last year with the pandemic, or did you blow it on DoorDash?
I definitely saved money because I didn't have to drive to Bridgewater every day.
Yeah.
So I saved a lot of gas money.
Yeah.
But I did order DoorDash, probably too much. I will say that. But I still think I saved money.
When was it that you finally realized, they're charging me that much?
Well, I will say that the prices increased within the past couple months. Towards the beginning of the pandemic, it wasn't that crazy to get DoorDash. For me, it was Chipotle. I'm obsessed with Chipotle now. But yeah, it is ridiculously expensive to do that, especially because I was getting it delivered from Dartmouth, so that's kind of a long drive. But
hey,
I don't do that anymore.
One of the benefits of our trip to Virginia was that Sarah discovered what we think is the Chipotle recipe for the corn
salsa. She has the recipe for that. She also makes the rice just like how Chipotle makes it.
So we are this close to nailing it with the. We just don't have the
chicken recipe.
Yeah, we don't have the flavoring.
I found some recipes to try.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we will be trying. We should be able to nail the Chipotle burrito.
Experimentation.
Yes, I'm excited.
All right, let's check sports from the weekend. Kansas City took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox this weekend, winning yesterday's game 7-3. Kansas City out-hit Boston 15-11. The Red Sox stranded 10 runners and went 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. An off day today, then a busy week. They'll be in Tampa Bay for 3 games against the Rays, and then they come home for a weekend series with the Yankees. Does that mean Sunday Night Baseball again? I hate Sunday.
Probably. I don't know.
I hate that. Just me speaking. NBA, the Atlanta Hawks took Game 7 over Philadelphia, 103-96. The Phoenix Suns took Game 1 of their series with the Clippers 120-114. The Suns have now won 8 straight. Hockey, the Las Vegas Golden Knights needed overtime to beat Montreal 2-1. That series is tied at 2 games apiece. And golf's John Rahm had a bit of a roller coaster ride this weekend, but ended up with the trophy for the U.S. Open. A look at summer concerts here in New England is coming up. But first, let's call this category news that makes me SMH.
Okay. That means shake my head.
Thank you.
Yes.
More than a dozen parents got into a fist fight at a Little League T-ball game in Kentucky over an umpire's call.
I'm surprised that T-ball has umpires.
Yeah, we never did.
We never did, no, because it's T-ball.
Yeah,
and T-ball is basically pointless.
You were 6? 7?
5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah. The brawl began when one of the coaches went onto the field and threw his hat down at home plate. A video of the incident showed 12 adults confronting the coach, who started yelling obscenities and then throwing punches. Of course, I remind you, these are, 5 and 6-year-olds on the field.
But again, this is T-ball where, a kid hits the ball and the entire team chases after it.
Yeah, right.
And there's no winning or losing in T-ball.
No,
There's probably a million home runs only because everyone's fighting over the ball while the kid runs all of the bases.
And he doesn't always run the bases the right way. Sometimes he goes to third, then second.
Yeah, I remember sliding into every base for no reason in T-ball. So, it's pointless. And why? What call could have been controversial?
I wish I knew that.
T-ball.
I wish I knew.
Yeah.
Now, I'll admit that I've thrown my hat, too. But
we've all gotten mad, but definitely not in T-ball.
No, I think you were 15 when I got mad.
Yeah.
An off-duty police officer who was at the field called for backup. Imagine that. He needed backup.
Yeah, at a T-ball game.
And several units arrived a short time later. This is what gets me, no one was arrested or charged. I mean,
anyone that threw a punch at a T-ball game should have been arrested and given life in prison.
Because it's never going to end, right?
It's T-ball. Yeah. I don't know how many times I need to say this. This is T-ball. Literally, it's pointless. Yeah. I'm sorry if anyone plays T-ball, but we all know it's pointless. It's just to get the kids in the realm of baseball.
Right.
But it really doesn't matter yet. There's no sort of competition in T-ball.
Every time you guys used to come into the dugout and say, "Are we winning, coach? What's the score?" I'd say, "Oh, we're tied."
Yeah, because nobody knows.
Yeah.
You don't start keeping a scorebook until at least B League.
Yeah.
You don't. That's ridiculous. We do have some chats here.
Okay.
Let's see. Abby says, we went camping this weekend. We had a beach day at the pond.
Oh, nice.
LOL. Now, how does that differentiate from just normal living? Because normal living is camping up there.
In Vermont?
Yeah.
Well, they have a house.
No, I know.
During the week.
I'm just messing. Okay. Abby also says, I want to go to concerts. I've only been to one concert, and it was Hanson. I love concerts. But you do wonder, Sarah was questioning this, whether or not people are going to be just ridiculously crazy this year at concerts.
And get totally wasted.
And just be obnoxious and just yell and pick fights and all this stuff. I hope not. I really hope not. Or they do it I don't know, off to themselves. And Abby said it's Kentucky, so yeah, that was the T-ball story,
That's
right?
where it was from Kentucky. Yeah.
It's T-ball, guys.
I just don't get it.
I just want to know the call. That's all I want to know. What could have been so controversial?
All right, homework.
Yeah.
All right. A couple of stories in entertainment news for you this morning. Warner Brothers has acquired Marvin Gaye's biopic, What's Going On? And Dr. Dre will produce. Warner Brothers has struck a deal that includes the rights to use all of Gaye's signature songs, as his estate and Motown were part of the agreements. The legendary singer put out such hits as What's Going On, Let's Get It On, and was later fatally shot in 1984 at the age of 44 by his father. What's Going On will chronicle his relationship with his father, address the demons that haunted him, and celebrate the women who inspired his iconic love songs. Production is anticipated to start next year for a 2023 release.
I'm excited. I like the music biopics.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is cool to find out what went into writing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, how they put it together. And WBZ Channel 4 had a story yesterday listing all the Boston concerts for the summer. So maybe I'll post this on the website, PeteBraley.com also. We'll put it on the Facebook page. At Fenway Park this summer, Guns N' Roses will be there August 3rd. Billy Joel's coming August 4th. Green Day August 5th. New Kids on the Block August 6th. And the Zac Brown Band August 8th. I guess the Sox are out of town.
Yeah.
Maroon 5 will be there September 12th. At the Xfinity Center, Luke Bryan, July 10th. Chicago on the 13th. Hall & Oates on August 5th. Jimmy Buffett, August 14th. Kiss on the 18th. The Dave Matthews Band, August 20th. Korn and Stained, August 21st. Alanis Morissette, September 4th. Brooks and Dunn on September 9th. And Thomas Rhett on September 18th. And the Leader Bank Pavilion, which I think used to be the Fleet Bank Pavilion.
I've never been to that one.
Yeah. Brothers Osborne, July 30th. Counting Crows, August 8th. Harry Connick Jr., August 14th. Lady A, August 15th. Jason, that's Lady Antebellum, if you're not up to, I still don't know why they changed that. Jason Mraz, August 18th, and Alice Cooper, September 21st. And 2 shows at the Garden, Michael Bublé on August 24th, The Eagles, August 27th and 28th. So there you have it.
I'm excited. Concert season.
And you're going to go down south to check out a couple, right?
That's mainly where I catch my concerts.
Yeah.
It's cheaper down there, actually.
There's an amphitheater in Virginia Beach that's really not far from their house.
It's right in between Sarah and Doug's house.
That's true.
Yeah, it's the halfway point.
And they get their lawn seats and check that out.
Yeah, a lot of the concerts are later in the season, so September, October, I will be living down there pretty much.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do you say we get to this? A Reddit user asked people to share the most creative punishment their parents ever gave them, and it was a pretty entertaining thread. I don't know if this is the same as the one we used a week or so ago with Diane, who had to write an essay about peeling a grape.
Yeah.
Whenever she said she was
similar
born,
situations.
Well, here are some of the punishments. All right. One person said, "We lost the snow shovels building snow forts one day, so our parents made us shovel snow using pots and pans."
That's funny, but I mean, somewhat effective. I feel like. I mean, depending on the size of the pot or the pan.
Yeah, if it was a little saucer.
It's probably more effective than shovel at some points. By the way, spoiler, I guarantee the shovels were just buried in snow. Let's just use context clues here.
Yeah.
They didn't lose them. They were just waiting until the spring to find them. That's what it was.
My best friend and her brother wouldn't stop fighting, and their parents had tried everything, taking their toys, early bedtime, grounding them. So one day, their dad had the bright idea of putting them in the garage, sitting them next to each other while holding hands, and watching paint dry on a canvas. And every time they said something rude to each other, he would pour a little more paint on the canvas, and they had to sit and watch the paint dry.
Parents are mean, man. Like, don't get me wrong, that the adding more paint is effective, I will say.
Yeah.
It's just prolonging the punishment there.
Aren't you glad we didn't do these?
Yeah. I mean, I think I would have ran away.
What did we do? Timeouts? I think we did timeouts.
Yeah, we did timeouts.
Or we took away electronics, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't have a lot of electronics. I was the one that kind of started the electronic train. But yeah, no, timeouts were definitely a thing.
Someone else commented, these are interesting punishments my parents used to have. Somebody said, my parents always made us repair things we broke. I think you'll like this one.
Okay.
One day, my sister and I were roughhousing, and we accidentally made a hole in the wall. So my dad drove us to Home Depot and told us to figure out how to fix the hole on our own. We had to talk to the employees.
That right there is the punishment in itself.
Ask our own questions.
If there's one thing you don't want to do as a kid, it's talking to strangers.
Gather the repair items, select the paint color, and then fix the hole on our own. We messed up a lot, but we learned the value of taking care of our things. We realized how hard it is to fix things, and we learned new skills. All this without yelling or a lecture.
I like the idea of fixing it because you do learn skill. I mean, these kids are probably 6 years old and they know how to drywall. Right. So, I mean, good for them. But the figuring it out themselves is brutal. I mean, as a kid, how do you know how to get the same paint color?
True.
I don't know. That's a little brutal. And talking to strangers, I'm 22. I don't want to talk to strangers. I would still have my mom talk to the Home Depot guy if I could.
He does that. Yeah.
No, well, not all the time.
Not all the time.
Come on now, Pete. I'm grown up.
But you would
let me crack a joke without you revealing my secrets.
You would still rather have mom call your to get a doctor's appointment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the problem is I'm like in between. I have to find a doctor, but it's like, how do you find a doctor?
Especially when they tell you we're not taking new patients. Well, then, hello?
Yeah, I know. They want me to go to like Westport to go to the doctors. I'm like, I would rather not go to the doctors than go to Westport to go to the doctors. Anyways.
Let's see. Somebody else said, if I slammed a door really hard when I was mad, my mom and grandparents would make me practice closing it nicely. I'd have to open and close it gently about 50 times, counting out loud. If I closed it too hard, I would have to start over at 1. Eventually, I learned how to get my anger out by just slamming the door over and over and counting 1, 1, 1, 1. They didn't utilize this message as much after I started doing that.
See, I like that. That's when there's a terrible punishment and you can abuse it without going back on their I mean, technically, that's exactly what they said to do.
Yeah.
So that's my kind of friend right there. I would like to know who this is.
I once misfired a Nerf gun in front of my dad, and he had me go through a manual on gun safety.
That's funny. Not just a manual on the Nerf gun.
No.
A manual on gun safety.
Gun safety. Always pointed away. Never go. Yeah. When my brother and I bickered, my parents made us stand side by side with our dominant hands free, his right hand, my left hand, then told us to clean the kitchen. It was difficult, but we were laughing about it by the time everything was clean.
See, that's nice, because then it makes it fun.
And you couldn't use your dominant hand.
Yeah.
Right? Every time we failed to take the trash out on time or cut the grass before it rained, we were fined $25.
Jesus.
Which we were told went into a vacation fund. When I turned 18, my dad sat me down in his office and handed me an envelope stuffed with bank statements. Turns out he was investing every one of those $25 fines into a mutual fund. I'm now 28, and it's still sitting there growing in case of a rainy day. I kind of regret not screwing up more as a kid because the account could have been bigger.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Investing when they're super young, they probably have that money by the time they retire is going to be over $1 million. So that's crazy awesome. But I will say, $25 as a kid, that's a lot to come up with.
Yeah,
I don't know where you're getting that money.
Yeah,
$25 is a lot of money.
Giving up your entire allowance.
Yeah,
or less.
A couple months worth of allowance.
And finally, my mom created the Wheel of Punishment. Spin the Wheel of Punishment. When I was naughty, I would have to spin the repurposed board game spinner, and whatever punishment it landed on was the punishment I had to do.
That just sucks because wheels are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Wheel of Fortune.
You're supposed to win something.
Spin the wheel, win a prize.
That's like, if anyone has seen The Office, that's like when Pam created a wheel to do chores around the office. And everyone hated it because it wasn't fun. And so by the end of it, it was just a wheel of like prizes. No chores got done.
There you go.
But that's what, my office people, you know what I'm talking about.
If you are watching this later in the day, feel free to comment or email the Pete Braley Show at gmail.com. Let us know, are there any bizarre punishments you had as a kid?
Abby says, first she says, I have a house mat. Camping is just a way to torture myself, apparently. Yeah, it is funny. People either love or hate camping, and even some of the people that love camping love the idea of camping, and then they go camping, and they're like, why did I do this?
What does your brother-in-law, Steven, say? His idea of camping is a hotel without room service?
Yeah, he says camping is just people pretending to be poor, which is funny. A little messed up, but funny. Abby also says, I take the charges for my kids' devices so they slowly see the percentage go down. Once that 15% alert goes off, the panic sets in. That's like when the power goes out and you're trying to like conserve the battery on your phone. But all of us that are spoiled with technology don't know how to do it.
I can remember the last hurricane, I think, that we dealt with.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember the name, but the last hurricane, I can remember going out to my car, starting the car and charging up the phone that way.
Yep.
That was the only way to do it.
She also said, I would hate that punishment. I wouldn't want to talk to the workers there. I'm telling you,
Oh, at Home Depot?
Yeah. I don't mess with that. Doug loves Home Depot, loves talking to people. Doug's probably the most outgoing Braley, I would say, for sure. Doug will talk to anybody about any. I needed Doug when they asked me what it was like to live in Massachusetts.
There you go.
Doug would have had an answer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I should call him, not tell him anything, and just say, what's it like living in Massachusetts, and see what he says.
Okay.
But Doug's the most outgoing one. If I don't need to talk to strangers, I will not.
When he was in high school, he was Mr. Fairhaven.
Yes. Well,
Technically,
technically, I was Mr. Fairhaven. Okay, I won Mr. Fairhaven. Doug came in second when he did Mr. Fairhaven.
He won Mr. Fairhaven,
Yes.
but we used to attach the nickname
Yes.
Mr. Fair or the mayor of Fairhaven to Doug because he would talk to everybody.
Yeah,
Anybody.
and he did everything in high school, like everything he could
Yeah.
have. Yeah, he was
Class.
BDTV's Doug Braley.
Yeah, he was
On the morning
BDTV every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna ask Doug what it's like to live in Massachusetts. See what he says.
All right. Let me know if you get any more interesting punishments.
Yeah.
Otherwise, here's the story about music. Now, Americans say, according to a recent survey, that the 70s and 80s were the best music decades. YouGov, is it u.gov? Yeah, I guess so. Polled more than 17,000 people about which time period they believe had the best music. Among U.S. adults, overall, the 1970s and 80s was chosen to be the best decades for music. 14% picked the 60s. 14% said the 90s. Only 6% chose the 2000s. 3 in 10 Americans say they're fans of country music. And among this group, 23% think the best music was made in the 80s, while 21% think the best music was made in the 90s. Now, remember I said it depends?
Yes.
My theory, and I'm offering it for free today, no charge.
No charge. Wow.
My theory is whatever music you're listening to when you're in your early teens
Okay.
is going to be your favorite music. Now, for me, it's the 70s.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because in your early teen, we're talking like 13, 14, you're listening to music a lot. You still do, but,
Yes.
Around 13, 14, you're into music a lot. Back in the day, we collected records. So I think that whatever you're listening to at 13 or 14 is the music that years later you're going to say, that's the best. Because we all think back to, we don't remember the bad times when we were kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
We remember the good times.
I will say for me, I didn't get really into music until 17, 18. So mine was like late teens when I got into music. So that's why country music is my favorite.
In fact, when we had the Mr. Fairhaven show,
Yeah.
he got out and sang with his friend Jeff Zinal.
Yeah.
He got out and sang, what, 2 songs, 3 songs?
No, it was a mashup of like 6 songs.
And a lot of people in the audience were like, Matt can sing?
Yeah. It was fun because I didn't really tell a lot of... I feel like it was still kind of... I never really talked to you guys much about it. I was just like, hey, I'm doing Mr. Fairhaven, and I'm going to sing. Because it's also... A lot of people would get up there and lip sync, but me and Jeff were like, no, we're singing. Like, we're doing this. We're going all in. So we had just instrument tracks. There was no backing vocals at all. We were going all out. And it was so much fun.
You did Cruise.
We did. So it started out with Your Man by Josh Turner.
Okay.
And then it went to...
right, yes.
And then it went to Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. And what else did we do? We did... Jeff rapped the really fast rap from Rap God.
Yeah.
And then I did Down by Jay Sean.
Didn't you do Cruise?
We did Cruise. We also did Breaking Free from High School Musical. That was a crowd favorite. And I think that might have been it. I don't remember any other ones. I think that was it.
I do have that video.
Oh, no. We also sang I'm Yours. We cut out the music, and I played it on guitar, and we sang I'm Yours.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a mashup. We do have the video.
I have it on video.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun, though.
Maybe someday, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe
and then I
someday
remember
we'll get there.
after that, I was asked to sing the national anthem at something, and I was like, no, I don't sing. I was like, I'm sorry.
You just did, though.
I know. But that was before I actually was like, hey, I want to sing for real. Like, that was still kind of a joke. And then they asked me to sing the national anthem. I was like, no. I was like, I don't sing. And now I sing, or at least I try.
The only thing about this this video that I have of Mr. Fairhaven is it is a typical parent video taken from like row 17.
Yep.
So I'm way back there, but I am so glad that I rolled that tape.
Oh, yeah, I love that video.
I think it's the only recording.
No, there was a couple people, because Jeff's mom also recorded some of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I have a couple different angles. But yeah, it was fun because it was before I took singing seriously, so some of it sounds awful.
I wouldn't.
It was all right.
I wouldn't say awful, but
yeah, but it was a little rough.
Come a long way. By the way, he took all his stuff down to Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Because that music class continued.
Yep.
I remember one night we were staying at Sarah's house. He was staying at Doug's house. They're about 10 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one night you said, I got to go home, got to write a song.
Yeah.
It's like, you can sit down and write a song?
I wrote one song that whole week being down there. I wrote an entire song.
How does that I've always been amazed at the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how does that can you just sit down and say, all right, tonight I'm going to write, and it comes to you? Or is it a case where whatever you're doing during the day, all of a sudden, hey, I like that, I'm going to write that down?
Well, yes, you write down things that you think could be good ideas. The one at Doug's house. See, I used to not write a song until I had an idea, but the whole thing I've kind of developed during this class is you can kind of force yourself to get creative. You don't need to wait until you're creative, because the thing is, if you want to write good songs, you're not going to write good songs if you don't step up to the plate. Like,
Right.
You're not going to hit a home run if you don't step up to the plate. So you got to take a bunch of at-bats and you'll hit a home run eventually. So you might write a bunch of John Mayer once said you need to write a bunch of bad songs to get to the good ones. And so that's really
see
true.
That.
Yeah.
Because I know, I try to write. I mean, I have done some writing, but I try to write, and I haven't disciplined myself yet. They say you should write every day.
Yeah.
Sit down and write every day from 9 to noon,
Yeah.
8 to 4. You should sit down and write. And don't worry if nothing comes to you. Just write,
Yeah. But it also doesn't have to be, you don't need to sit down and write a book. They say, sit down and write a journal entry. No one needs to read it.
Yeah. But again,
on the way home, you started a blog for yesterday, and you were like, I don't like this, and you started another one.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's just
and then
how it happens.
I didn't finish it. I needed an ending, and I couldn't find the ending. So I just put it in the glove compartment. I said, well, I'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when we go home, about 9:30, 10 o'clock, I had the ending.
But that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, too, is the first night I started writing the song, I wrote the chorus and both verses, verse 1 and verse 2. And then I was like, I don't really know what I want the bridge to be. So I stopped for the night. And then the next night, I was actually, when I was at the table, we ate dinner at Doug's house, and everybody had gotten up to clear the table.
Right.
And I was just alone in the dining room, and I was whistling an idea, and I recorded the idea as a whistle. And then later that night, I wrote it.
Do you write the lyrics first or the melody, or does it varies?
Yeah, it varies.
Yeah.
Some people pick a specific thing. I used to wait to write a song until I had a lyric idea that I liked, but now there's a thing where just sing gibberish and find a melody.
Watermelon.
Yeah, but then a lot of the times what you sing in gibberish becomes a part of the song.
Oh, wow.
There'll be words that unlock. Once I'm done with the songs, I would love to. We'll show the pieces of how it developed. It gets from really shitty to somewhat decent.
I'd like that.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
Have I heard the finished product on number 2? Yes, I have.
No, not on number 2.
I thought you didn't sing it in the car?
I did, but that's not the finished version.
Oh, okay.
I actually had to change some lyrics and stuff.
I'm looking forward to seeing that too.
Yeah.
Any chats before we?
Yeah, let's see. Dana says, "Good morning, gang. Vertical coffee, riding the boo boo bus. There we go. There we go. Good to have you,
and
Dana."
Trisha's on the. Well, actually,
yeah.
She's
supervisor.
She's
today.
Captain Trish, right? Does she have a title?
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's captain. It's
No?
it's supervisor. It's something supervisor Trish. We should
Okay.
probably ask.
She's.
I like Captain Trish. I don't think that's proper at all, but Captain Trish.
She's like the shift manager on Mondays,
Yeah.
and her phone just never stops ringing.
Yeah, so
Never
I don't think she's in a boo boo bus. She's in a boo boo escape.
Yeah, she has an escape.
Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see. Abby says, you pay a bunch of money to live poor for the weekend. Why do we go camping? We go camping to escape reality, but a lot of the times we bring reality with us
Yeah.
anyways. So we just pay We pay a lot of money to live a rougher version of reality.
I used to be that guy that the part of camping that I liked was the campfire. Everything else kind of you know?
I love campfires.
I never really thought that I slept well, either
Yeah.
in a tent or the time we did have a pop-up camper.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I never thought I really slept well. And, of course, cooking a meal is totally different over the fire.
Yeah.
But sitting around the campfire was
That's-
if
I
I
love
could
that.
go home after we're done with the campfire, I'd be great.
I almost fell in a campfire one time. Fun story.
You did fall in, didn't you?
I was a kid, and of course you teeter in your chair as a kid, and Mom always says 4 on the floor, and you never listen. I'm 22 and I still don't listen.
Yeah.
But I was teetering in my chair. For some reason, I was on a slope, fell forward, and someone, This was in Vermont, so
Yeah,
I think it might have been a friend of our cousins.
Friend of one of the kids.
But he grabbed my face and scooped me out, and I would have been completely fine if I just let him do that. But natural reaction, I put my hand out, and so I put my hand on the fire ring, and so my hand bubbled up, and I had like a really bad burn on my hand.
Right.
But if I just had not done that, I would have been fine. But of course, your reaction is to do that. So
Right.
yes, I did pretty much fall in a fire when I was a kid.
And I remember,
but I have no scar. I'm good.
I remember that guy saying something like, it was like in slow motion.
Yeah.
Just kinda,
Thank God, because I probably would have burned more than just my hand if he hadn't done that.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be as beautiful as I am today.
There you go.
To be honest,
There you go.
that's what it is. Gail said, when my sons would fight, I would lash their right leg, left leg together, and they would have to work. Oh, they would tie them together, and they would have to work together to do anything. That's funny. When they got along, I would release them. That's funny.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
really
that.
funny. Dana said, I've been drumming for 38 years now, and so much music sends me right back. I like mostly everything. That's what I'm talking about. I could listen, like, if you just show me a good song, it's a good song. I don't care what genre it is. If it's a good song, then I could vibe to it. I will say, to that article, because you said it was late 60s, 70s, 60s, 70s?
70s and 80s.
Yes. I will say that I think it's a little biased because I don't think you're going to get a lot of people who like 2000s and 2010s music to take the survey.
You don't think so?
You don't really take surveys. I feel like
at
that's
that age,
no offense to anybody, but I feel like it's an older thing to take surveys. Anytime I get a survey in anything, I delete it. I don't take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think it's probably a little biased with who's taking the survey.
You don't take that survey to get that $500 Walmart gift card?
No.
Oh,
and you shouldn't either because it's probably a scam. Anytime they say you could win all this money, blah, blah, blah. Abby said, I bought a journal called Burn After Writing. It's pretty interesting. That sounds like an interesting concept.
Burn after. So you write down your deepest thoughts in that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's how you figure out your brain.
That's
I've
cool.
tried journaling. I don't know. I hate talking about myself,
Do you?
and I feel like it's a form of talking about yourself.
Yeah, but you're only going to read it.
True.
It's only going to be you.
I don't know. Maybe I should try it again.
The only thing I lack with journaling every day is again keeping up. My problem is discipline. I just have no discipline in life. But
Okay.
I don't have the discipline to do it every day.
Yeah,
it becomes
it's a thing you got to make into a habit.
Yeah.
I'm big into habits. Habits are so interesting to me.
What do they say? It takes 21 days to form a new habit.
I think less than that to form a habit. It takes longer to break a habit.
Okay.
It's harder to break a habit than it is to form a habit.
Right.
But it's really interesting to me. Like if you sit back and realize the things that you do every day, and like think of a habit that you've actually formed. Like to me, it's waking up early.
Okay.
We've done it for a couple weeks now, and now I can't sleep late. Even on my days off, I wake up early.
Gotcha.
So it's funny how your body develops habits. Shift command is what Dana says. Kat also says shift commander. So it's shift commander Trish.
Commander.
That's what it is. I apologize to Trish for not remembering that. Abby said, I like the other aspects of camping, but it's the sleeping and feeding kids. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, when you have to take care of kids while camping, it is a job. Yeah, I would agree with that.
And Abby says, I agree with Matt on the survey thing. She also says, oh, yes, there are prompts, and it goes deep. And Abby also said, yes, 21 days to form a habit.
So
Yeah.
there are prompts in her burn after writing?
Yeah. Don't you have... I thought you had a journal that had prompts.
Yes, I do. It's the one... one of you guys bought it for me for Christmas.
I think it was Sarah.
And it's basically a journal about counting your blessings.
Yeah.
You know, what your blessings are. Because if you think about it, and I've written about this before, we all have blessings. I mean, you have to. You wouldn't be... I mean, being alive is a blessing, okay? Doing this show with you is a blessing.
Aw.
Now his head's going to go.
Yep.
But we all have a blessing. Yes, I've had all kinds of medical issues, and in fact, everything hurts this morning. I don't know why.
The weather.
The weather, yeah.
It's so terrible out.
But I'm alive, and I can still do things, you know, so there are blessings to count.
Look at that. Everybody count your blessings today.
There you go. Anybody else? Because that's about all I had for today.
No, that's it for the chats. And we're right at about an hour. So.
Yeah, we are going to check on a few things, a few people we'd like to get on the show as a guest. So we do have some things coming up for you.
Yeah.
And, of course, anything else you'd like us to see? How about a hats off for Charlie?
I know he did fall asleep about halfway through. He's laying right next to me. You
Yes,
guys can't see him, but he's right by my feet.
Right by your feet there.
Yep.
I was supposed to head down and tape a show today for a Classroom Chronicle at New Bedford Cable Network. The reason I say supposed to is like my shoulder's killing me here today, so I don't know if I'm going to.
So shout out to Pete for getting through the show because he's really uncomfortable over there.
Thank you. I hope all dads had a nice Father's Day, and was it you were asking me last week when's Children's Day?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting.
Every day's Children's
Oh,
Day.
here we go. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it, Pete. Doesn't feel like it. Where's my presents? Dana says barometric pressure change, Pete.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that affects my migraines. So I do. Luckily, knock on wood, don't have a migraine today. So
that's cool.
Shout out. Yeah.
All right. So, what do you have going on today? More of music?
Yes, that's later in the day. I have to polyurethane the desk.
Oh yes.
I really want that here. It's really nice. I
It is.
can't wait for you guys to see it. So I have to do that, and yeah, stuff for the show, and then music. I got to finish up that song.
That'll do it for us. Anyone else checking in? You can always chat with us on the live show and comments if you're watching this later in the day. I know Sarah watches us while she's doing her dishes at 8:30.
That's what it's all about. If you guys got tasks that you got to do, put us on in the background. We can annoy you just enough to make it go by faster.
No problem.
That's it.
Was it Nathan? Nathan reached out and said that he got caught up on all the shows from last week this weekend. So,
yeah, and he said that he bought the book for his dad. So you guys, the link is always below the video if you guys want to check out Pete's book. It's right above his head right there.
Yep.
I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet.
He's not leaving you alone just yet.
All right, so we'll end the show with our thought for the day, as we always do. And our thought for Monday is, success isn't how your life looks to others. It's about how it feels to you.
Damn straight.
All right.
Yeah.
Go out and make it a good day.
We'll see you guys next time.